Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senaparatna. Grab your favorite drink, get yourself a snack, and we will get started. Today I have blueberry black tea. It's okay. And I actually popped in some of the dough from the fridge and I made chocolate chip cookies today. I made some dough a while ago, put it in the fridge, and then I just make like 5 or 6 cookies at a time. It's been a fabulous idea because it goes great with my tea. So let's get real. Now, this is kind of a throwback. I realize that some of you maybe even were my friend at this point when this was happening. But for our 20th anniversary, my husband and I did something that we have only done like 3 or 4 times in our entire marriage. We went on a vacation. We travel all the time. Like that's something we do, but there's always something with ministry attached to it. So it's always a ministry trip. We very rarely go somewhere and it's a vacation. This is not how we run things, and that's okay. But for our 20th anniversary, we left our daughter at home with my mom. I believe she stayed with my mom. She was either half with my mom and half with my mother and father-in-law. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you, because it was 8 years ago. But my husband and I decided to go on a trip, and our dog had just passed away. Like, it was not my perfect timing, right? Like we had just put the dog down, and I think like a week later we got on a plane and we went to Italy. Now, what you maybe don't know about me is I'm a closet nerd. My husband is out and out, like he's full on nerd. Like he's embraced that. That's great. But I am a closet one. Like I love a good documentary. Like I have watched so many documentaries on ancient Egypt, on ancient Rome, travel, like Easter Island is a dream for me. Someday I have watched so many documentaries on Easter Island. I would love to go there someday, but it is so expensive and it's never probably going to happen. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we got to Italy and I was a little thrown back. Like more because there were lots of very funny moments that happened during that trip because I had told Kevin, let's do it a little loosey-goosey and not make major plans and, just kind of go with the flow, which is not really normally our style in life. We are very scheduled in our home. Like everybody gets up at the same time all year round. Like there aren't a lot of detours in our lives when it comes to the schedule. And so I'm like, let's go on this trip to Italy and be a little more like, it doesn't matter what we do. So we had our hotels booked. So we knew we'd spend some time in Rome. And then we were going to go and go to Naples. And that was all we really had planned. And then go back to Rome. So we had our hotels booked. But really, we didn't really know what we were going to do. And I've talked about it on a previous podcast where we ended up at Pompeii that I had watched a ton of documentaries on. And it was like a dream come true for me. We walked up Mount Vesuvius. Like it was crazy for me. But our first day there, we get there and it was just phenomenal. We got to this hotel and it was one of our anniversary night hotels. So that means for us it was a free night, which we always try to do a little bit better of a hotel than we can afford. And so we stay in these hotels that are just magnificent. So we stayed in this hotel and it was beautiful. It was one of those places that had like a spa and it didn't charge you for it. It was like a whole thing. It was amazing. But one of the things that my husband was like, let's do was to go see a museum. Now, if you've listened to my podcast in any way, shape, or form, you know I may be a nerd. I'm not a museum person. Like, we are not big museum people. Like, there are people that will go to the Louvre and in Paris, not in Rome, and just soak up all of the culture. There are tons of museums near my home, downtown Minneapolis, and I have to tell you, I've only been to them because it was a field trip or I went with a friend and I was being generous that day. Like, it is just not my thing. I'm not a big art person. I don't really care about. We were in Israel at one point and looking at the Dead Sea Scrolls, and we were the first one out of the building. Everybody else was in there for like an hour, and we were like, okay, those were nice, and let's move on. Like, they are just not my thing. So we're in Italy, and we go to the Vatican Museum. Like, beautiful, beautiful things, I'm sure, but we have no idea what they are. Like, I have no idea how old this tapestry is, nor do I have any idea. It's not in English, it's in Italian, and so I have no idea what any of this stuff is. We were in and out of there really fast. Like, I'm sure if someone would have timed us, they would have been like, that was the quickest we've ever had anybody walk through that entire museum. Like, I even tried to listen to the tour guides. Like, maybe I could glean some information from tour guides of like because they have taken things from all over the world into this museum. Like, this is the like creme de la creme museums out there, and we are just floating along. Like, it was just almost embarrassing how quickly we got through that whole situation. And when we finished, we're like, okay, well, that was supposed to take an entire day, and we're done in, I don't know, 20 minutes. I'm sure it wasn't 20 minutes. With the lines, there was no way it could have been 20 minutes, and it's a huge place, and we did get lost. Like, anyway, I do remember one painting, and it was Adam and Eve in the garden, and it was gorgeous. And I was like, oh, I really like this. And that's all I remember from the entire thing. Anyway, so we're done, let's just say 20 minutes. I know it was not that quickly. And so we really have nothing planned for the rest of the day. Like, that was what we were going to do. Like, we were going to go to the museum, and that was what we were going to do for the day. And my husband was like, hey, let's just walk around. So we walk around, and we, walk around Vatican City, which is super little, so you can walk around that very quickly. And I think we mailed something from there just because it's like the smallest country in the world. So that's kind of a fun thing. And my husband had been there with a group of men earlier. Like, they went on some kind of missions trip. And one of their first places they went to was Rome. And so he kind of had an idea of where things were. I had no clue. Like, I had no idea where we were. Because that is kind of how I travel. I travel blindly. We are lost more often than I will ever admit to anybody. Like, we are constantly have no clue where we are. Like, it's a complete debacle. Now, this is before we had phones that actually worked outside the country. Like, we didn't have internet. I didn't have a camera. Like, it was just full-on weirdness for me. So you are just completely I'm just wandering the streets. And we walk around a corner, and I will never forget walking around this corner. We walk around the corner, and there is a bridge. Now, I don't know what bridge it is, because it has been 8 years. I have a picture of it, and it is my dreams come true picture. And it is a bridge that I remember watching a documentary on, like, 20 years ago. No joke. Over 20 years ago, I watched a documentary on how the Romans built this bridge. And it was just this beautiful bridge. And I walked up, and I am standing in front of the bridge, and tears are streaming down my face. And Kevin was like, oh, is this important to you? Because he knows where we're going. Like, he has this idea of where we're going. And I was just stood there in front of this bridge going, I never thought I'd see this bridge in person. Like, it never dawned on me it was there because I had watched it so much earlier before. And I didn't really do any research. Like, you probably should have. If you're going to go to a foreign country, just do me a favor and do a little bit more research than I've ever done. I tend to go to a country and go like, oh, what are they famous for? Like, I had no idea what we were even going to see in Rome and in Italy in general. Like, I just didn't have any plans. It was maybe not my best option. And so we walked across this bridge, and I just stood in awe of this, like, amazing thing that we were on. And we walk maybe 2 or 3 blocks and we're at the Pantheon. And I just was like, now we're at the Pantheon? Like, this is incredible. Like, how is this happening? A couple days later, Kevin's like, let's go on a picnic. And we go and we sit in front of the aqueducts. Like, what? I still eat cherries to this day because we bought cherries at a little hole-in-the-wall I was about to say garage sale. They didn't have garage sales. Little hole-in-the-wall grocery store. We bought some sandwiches and we bought some cherries. It was the first time I'd ever had a cherry. And we ate them in front of the 2,000-year-old aqueducts. Like, it was incredible, which I have seen a lot of documentaries on also. That whole trip was just fly by the seat of our pants. And it was moment after moment that I'd walk around a corner and go, wow, I never thought I'd see this. Wow, I never thought I'd see this. Wow, I never thought I'd see this. Like, it was just incredible. And I was thinking about that this afternoon as I was getting ready for this podcast, because I have a picture up in our living room of just a couple things that I saw when we were in Italy. And it was, one of those trips that was just so, adventures and things that happened were just, it was a crazy trip. We got on the wrong train a couple times, went the wrong direction, got lost in the middle of the city. We're in a place with a bunch of gang people that were trying, and it was a little crazy. We got into some scrapes. No scrapes. We were fine. Like, a bird attacked us. It was a whole thing. Okay, I might lose it a little because that is the funniest story on the planet. But ate the best food I've ever eaten in my entire life in Italy. Like, I would move back there just for the food. And I was thinking about that trip and how much I long for something like that again. And I think it has a little bit to do with it. It was a vacation. I had no responsibilities. We had no phones. We could call nobody. Nobody could call us. Like, I had no idea what was happening at home. So all the worries had to drain away. So first of all, we need that moment in our life, right? Like, we need to find time to rest and to get away and to unplug. That is so important. I know that we are busy people and that we have kids and that we have family and we have churches and we have responsibilities and we have jobs and all those pieces. I know we have a lot going on, but you also need to find time to recharge. Like, it is so important. But it's also a reminder that God sometimes plants seeds in your heart years before you see the fruit. I cannot tell you the amount of documentaries I watched when Sam was a baby. In the middle of the night, I'd get up and you'd be feeding her at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning, and I would turn on a documentary and I would feed her and I would sit there and I'd be like, this is amazing. I have a baby and a documentary. Like, life can't get a whole lot better. And I will be honest, I look back at those moments and I go, I didn't realize that years later, 10 years after that, I would be standing in some of those places. I'd be standing at the Pantheon and know the history and just be in awe of that, and standing by the aqueducts and eating a picnic lunch with my husband and going, wow, God is so good. And I just want you to remember right now, it may not be that you go to Italy this year. It may not be. If it is, go. Like, if the door opens, run, people, run. And have a pizza for me. Like, run. But God plants seeds in our lives. And there are things that are planted in our lives that He wants you to continue to water and have grow and blossom into something better and big and have that fruit later. Like, there are reasons that we have our passions. I met with someone because I do this quite often, and we were just chatting, and they were talking about, kind of what they wanted to do with life, and it just seemed like way outside they're ever going to see this. And I said, so what are you passionate about? Like, what is something that you just can't get enough of? And they started explaining these things. And I said, so why isn't your ministry about that? And they were like, well, because it's not practical. And I was like, okay, I get that. Like, we run a prayer ministry. That's not necessarily practical some of the times. Although prayer is very practical. But, you look at it and go, people don't pay for prayer. Like, that's ridiculous. But I said, sometimes God gives you the desires gives you desires because he wants you to go after them. He gives you passion because he wants you to go after them. He gives you ideas because he wants you to go after them. And he wants you to water those seeds. And I am telling you, I talked last week about miracles, and I have been so challenged this week that I need to allow God to continue to water the seeds in my life so miracles can happen. So years from now, I can look back and go, oh, I prayed for that. Oh, I put time into that. I studied that. I worked towards that. And know that God is so faithful to bring you to a place that you stand there and go, wow, I never thought I'd be here. And that's my encouragement to you. I pray that as you continue to sometimes feel like these things that are silly, like you're going, okay, this desire, I read a ton of books. And sometimes I feel like, am I just wasting my time? Like, yeah, I am sometimes. Sometimes the books are a total waste of time. Let's just be honest. But I realize that the books that I have read have been a huge piece of my ministry, which seems so weird to me because I have sat down with multiple people and they've been like, what should I read? I don't know what to read. I don't know what's safe to read. I don't know what's clean and what's not clean and what's, and they can kind of walk me through what they're looking for. And I can be like, okay, here are the books to start with. When you're done with that series, come to me. I'll find you another one because now I have an idea of what you like. And this one's safe and this one's not. Stay away from that one. I have people text me all the time about like, is this a safe book? No, stay away from that series. Here you go. Here's a different one. That's by a different author. Like the things that God has given me the desire for, which is to read, is also helping other people. And so we cannot throw aside that. We can't just go, oh, you know what? It's worthless. It's not, I'm just cooking for myself. You just don't know what God's going to do with it. You just don't know where he's going to bring you and what kind of fruit is going to come from the things that you are working on and developing. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that you really can see that God is faithful and he will continue to bring fruit into your life and bring you the desires of your heart. Because when you seek after him, your desires line up with what he wants for you. And I just think that's amazing to me because it does say in the Bible that God will give you the desires of your heart. Because when you seek after him, your desires and his desire for you line up. And that's amazing to me. Well, you can find me at Real Life with Jenny on Instagram and on Facebook. You can also go to buymeacoffee.com/Real Life with Jenny. You can support me there. Thank you so much for those who are supporting, for those who are doing monthly giving. Oh my goodness, it blows me away. I am so grateful for all of your generosity. So thank you so much for supporting this podcast. You can also go to reallifewithjenny.com or christconnection.cc/Jenny. All of my info is there. You can reach out to me if you need prayer, or if you've got things that you're just like, oh, I'm really excited about this, share it. Come on to Real Life with Jenny on Facebook. We've got a Facebook group there, and it is a safe place that you can come and share the desires of your heart. And I just pray that you will continue to run after those. Because you know what? I know that God has been faithful in my life and will be faithful in yours. He will help you stand in front of that bridge and go, I never thought I'd be here. I never thought that I'd be here, but God. You all have a great week.